Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Help Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and want to see more. Coming up, Leeds Rhinos women's and England player retires. Super League start date is confirmed, and Hastings says goodbye to Super League and the UK. Since arriving in the UK back at the end of 2018, Jackson Hastings has been one of the best players in Super League. The scrum half has single-handedly saved Salford from relegation at the end of the campaign, before he began writing one of the greatest fairy tales in Super League history. Despite being second favourites for relegation at the start of the season, Hastings and his Salford team shot the league with an outstanding campaign, which saw them finish third in the table. Amazing job. Hastings subsequently was named Man of Steel, but it wasn't the end of their remarkable journey. The Reds, having lost to Wigan in week 1 of the playoffs, came back to the DW Stadium after beating Castleford at home and totally outplayed the Warriors to book their first place ever in the grand final. The final did not have the fairy tale desired ending as for Salford, as St Helens won a 6th Super League title with a 23 points to 6 triumph over Salford, but the journey was no one will ever forget, especially for Hastings himself. In 2020 he joined Wigan and he helped them lift the Warriors up to another level so that they can match Salford at the top, and they picked their rivals to the league leaders shield. But more grand final misery would befall Hastings as Jack Wilsby won the Super League title for Saints with the last play of the season. With the Super League trophy still eluding him, he was set to play one more season in the UK, with many tipping the Warriors to go one better than previous seasons. But a difficult campaign for Wigan saw them struggle to score points and slump to 4th before an 8-0 defeat to Leeds in the playoffs ended Hastings' Super League career. Now heading back to Australia, Hastings has once again reflected on his time in England, initially admitting his reluctance to come to the UK in the first place before explaining how sad he is to be leaving after endearing himself to Salford and Wigan fans alike. He took to Twitter to say, "Got on a plane as a 22-year-old kid 3.5 years ago, not wanting to come to the UK. Now, as a 25-year-old man, reluctant to leave some lifelong friends, family behind. Shed endless tears over the last 48 hours. Been one hell of a ride. Thank you to every single person who was a part of it." Now, what to think of his rugby league career over in the UK as he heads off to West Tigers in Australia at for 2022, with Oliver Gildart in tow. Now, firstly, Salford. Excellent. He wouldn't have been the Man of Steel or got them to a grand final without being as good as he was. Led around perfectly. Not a problem. Salford had the swell coming behind them with the fans that they had in support at Old Trafford for the grand final, being that it's only like 3 miles away at most. But they weren't able to keep hold of him there, so they missed out on a very, very good player to progress, see if they can progress further the year after. He moved to Wigan, which in his first season didn't look too bad as he got to a grand final and a league leaders shield. They won it, not a problem whatsoever. Great team they put together. But then the second season was a bit more disastrous, as many of their strike players were injured, including newly signed Jai Field and also Bevan French, who's also in his final year with Wigan this year. No. He wasn't as effective, to be honest. Lowest points for total in the league, Wigan. Even below relegated Lee. Points against, not a problem. Defence is good. Always has been at Wigan. But they were trying to play expansive, more attacking rugby league, but didn't have the nous to do it, unfortunately. Or the strike. So, a bit hit and miss for the two clubs. Massive hit at Salford. Legend. Wigan. It's a miss. It's a miss. But anyway, we say farewell to Jackson Hastings and good luck with the West Tigers. So Super League have announced that their season for 2022 will start on Thursday, February the 10th. Rugby League Live understands the campaign will begin on the February date, which will be the opening weekend of the 27-year round schedule for the season. Excuse me. This is to accommodate the 2022 World Cup, as there are plans in place to have an earlier grand final at Old Trafford, so that England can prepare, and all the other teams, for the upcoming World Cup. It means the competition will return to the season length that was in place before COVID-19. Each team will play every single home and away before a loop fixtures and the Magic Weekend. Meanwhile, plans are in place to stage the grand final on Saturday, September the 24th, earlier than usual to climax the season. That has been determined by the World Cup, which begins 3 weeks later on October the 15th. England head coach Shaun Wane is understood to previously express the importance of a longer break between the World Cup and the grand final in order to optimise England's preparation for the tournament. Had the World Cup taken place this year, the grand final would have taken place just 2 weeks before the opener with Samoa, which would have given Wane limited time with his squad before the competition and also prevent any players who feature in the grand final from featuring in the pre-World Cup warm-up game, which Wane is keen to have 10 days before the opening game. However, the revised plans allow for that to happen. The start date is understood to be locked in, but the grand final date has yet to be finalised. There'll be some small number of double-header weekends as part of the schedule, though there will be fewer than 2021. Magic Weekend has yet to have a date finalised yet, as several options are still on the table, but it's also unclear that Super League fixtures will take whether Super League fixtures take place on the designated international weekend in the proposed schedule. Clubs decided to play in the day before and after the England clash with the All-Stars, which resulted in a number of selection issues for the representative sides. It's likely England will play on that weekend, though their opponents is currently unknown. That was my pet peeve last year. They had a designated international weekend and clubs decided to play games. Their attendances were lower, less TV viewing, and they couldn't help the international team when the England team is going to the World Cup. Now, I'm not saying there was a club versus country type of situation, but as I've commented before, the Super League do not advertise England internationals whatsoever. No Super League club advertises England internationals whatsoever. As soon as the international clear-up was made for next weekend's match against France in Perpignan, there have been 0 Super League and RFL clubs that have announced their internationals games. 0. You could go onto any rugby league team's website and not one of them is backing their England side. Oh, they will when the World Cup comes about because they don't want to be forgotten about. But no one's backing England in their own domestic competition because there's no money in it for them. Make it that as you will. If the Australian NRL said, oh, the Australians are playing Samoa, it'll be across every single NRL club. Why the league is built, and it goes to the state of origin and then internationals. International Rugby League needs to call on more internationals to be played in their league in the league season. Maybe it extends the season a little bit, but will mean that there's International Rugby League and they can make money from it for one, and it's viable, and the World Cup is not their only cash cow, and it grows the international game. The designated international weekend is on the books. Nations that haven't got as many players in their domestic league that play in, say, Australia and things like that would be invited to play in their nation, and they will be a draw. In Australia, in England, on the international stage as well, and in the players' own called up nations. Italy had a bump when James Tedesco played for them. Just an example, but it needs to be marketed well. We're all back to marketing, and Super League clubs do not care about International Rugby League. No money in it for them. They shouldn't be, but they should support the growth of Rugby League. Now, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. Leeds Rhinos Danika Priim has announced her retirement from Rugby League. The 37-year-old was a member of the Rhinos' first women's squad in 2018 and has won every honour in the game, including a Challenge Cup and a Super League double in 2019. Priim switched to Rugby League from Union in 2015 and played for Headingley and Bradford Bulls before joining Leeds Rhinos. She made her England debut in 2015 and was a member of their World Cup squad 2 years later. Priim's final game was the Rhinos' defeat by St Helens in last Sunday's Betfred Super League title decider. I've had a wicked rugby league career, and I think finishing playing in the grand final at Emerald Headingley in front of a record crowd is the best way to bow out, said Priim. There are a combination of things that have influenced my decision. I'm getting older, I have other commitments, so I can't commit to teams as much as I need to anymore. The game is growing massively, and the fitness levels and the level of skills are unbelievable. Where the game is going to be next season or the season after is going to be incredible, and I can't commit to that as much as I want to do because of my works and things like that. There is a talented bunch of girls coming through, and if I have had any kind of influence over how they play or what they do in the seasons to come, that is good enough for me. Priim added, I think you know when your time is to retire, and I wanted to bow out playing in a grand final. Playing for Leeds Rhinos has been the highlight of my rugby career. I've played for England, and I've played in a World Cup, but that first ever game in the Leeds Rhinos shirts at Odsal in 2018, walking out as vice captain with Lois Forsell as my captain, is probably the second best moment in my rugby career. My first was in May 2018, when I walked out at Headingley in a Leeds shirt. Priim, who is a full-time teacher, insists that she is not walking out on the sport. I would like to stay involved in rugby league, and I would like to stay part of the league and hopefully the club in some way, she stated. I have been really lucky over the last year and a half to find a pathway going down the media route with BBC and Sky Sports, and there is more of that lined up with England internationals in a week's time. So immediately it's the media stuff, but hopefully I can get on board with the coaching. Priim's ex-teammate and Rhinos coach Lois Forsell said Danika has had a great career. I don't think she would have wanted to finish off at any other club. She's Leeds through and through. She has been outstanding to coach, and I played with Danika at Bradford, Leeds and England, and she's a great teammate. She will reflect on what has been a great career and has some amazing memories. I would like to thank her for everything she has done for our club and the group of girls that she has played alongside. And that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share this video worldwide as we need to grow this massive game of ours. Please tell me in the comments below what your thoughts are of today's video and what your thoughts are of the players involved. Do you think Jackson Hastings will be a success in the Rugby League World Cup? Do you think England are getting things in set? Well, Super League Europe are getting things in place and set for full preparations for the Rugby League World Cup. And what your thoughts are on Danika Priim if you're able to see her playing for Leeds or England Rugby League during her playing career. But thank you very much for watching. Please remember, share this video with friends, family, anyone who has a passing interest in Rugby League, and for them to keep up to date with what's going on in Rugby League. As long as they're watching, as long as they're finding out what's going on in Rugby League, that's what I'd like to see. We need to grow that fantastic sport. You and I both love it, so share it. It's something that we need to give to other people. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.